everybody, and welcome to week 6, day 3 of SKL. With you tonight are two men who are actually dead on the inside, Kevin Big Booty Bodie and Blake Dezaninator Zanadine.
Holy dude, what? Yeah, alright, hey, how's it going? I mean, yeah, we are back with a pretty big matchup today. We got TMI versus Lunatic Peace.
Oh, there you go.
Woo!
Finally pronouncing it right.
Almost said it wrong.
Lunatic Peace, not Lunatic.
I don't even know why I say that. It drives me insane.
It's a little weird.
Lunatic
is not a word.
Could be.
I guess so.
Oh, I guess going on here. I believe we have a loss of a ban for TMI showing up late.
Right. Yes. Gotta be punctual here in SKL.
We don't dabble with tardiness.
No, we're not about that.
Except for stuff about us.
Okay, yeah. So they did lose a ban. First ban's coming in here. 2 bans in already for Lunatic Peace on red side for game 1. They've banned Gangplank and Callista. Pretty understandable. 2 pretty strong picks. Callista, favorite champion of Little Tough Guy, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his more favorite champions.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that much this season. He's played it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
He's kind of been the pick of the litter. If he's played Draven a little bit, Varus, Graves.
Yeah.
He's kind of been all over. But sticking with that one, it probably is still one of his most played champions, though.
Yeah.
And then the Vayne ban going out, that's definitely targeted at Uza there.
Yes, and Alistar, final ban for Lunatic Peace, targeted at Mo Money, so they kind of choose, one in every lane there. Gangplank for top, Callista ADC, and Alistar support, but, still leaving stuff open. There's only so many people you can ban with 3 bans, so we're seeing Similodon hover the Graves, still quite powerful. You can flex it, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first pick for Team Malicious Intent.
I'm rather surprised that they actually banned the Alistar away, but kept the Shen available.
Yeah, that's usually the ban you see against Mo Money.
Yeah, it's kind of his little pocket pick. He loves that champion so much, and he just applies so much pressure to the map with it. So maybe they'll try and take it away here. It might be a smart thing to do as Similodon does grab that Graves. Still a very strong pick, not the strongest in the meta right now. Kind of favoring more towards tanks. Something like a Malphite is really good into that Graves, but I guess they could also flex it into jungle or mid or AD carry because, like I said, we've seen
pretty much anywhere really.
Yeah, we've seen a Little Tough Guy play it before there, and if anything we know about TMI, they love to flex pick.
Yeah, their draft phases have definitely been pretty unpredictable, I think would be a good word for them here in SKL. So that Graves could go in here. Maybe it's Graves support. I mean, I don't know.
Mo Money is an innovator. Yeah. He'll just pull a champion. He'll call it good.
Yeah. Oh, so Lunatic Peace must have been listening to the stream here. It looks like they will lock in the Malphite in the top lane, as you said, is a good pick into Graves here, and the Echo as well. Now the pick Echo is very popular right now, but mostly in the top lane. But with that Malphite being picked, you got to think that he'll be Echo jungle.
Could go in the jungle. They could put it in mid lane. Probably not as strong. Definitely favors, but even in the jungle, you can build that tanky Echo. Still does ton of base damage. So having him in there, you get your Cinder Hulk. Start getting quite tanky. We actually have Poof playing in the jungle. We are not going to see
Help me
in this week. MIA.
I'm missing in action. No. Yeah. So Poof the Sheep, a returning member. I was actually a member of the championship-winning Vicious and Delicious last year. He was the top laner. But coming in the jungle, very strong player, Poof the Sheep.
Yeah, and he had a very good showing last week. Even I caught a bit of game 1 there while he was playing Gragas in the jungle.
Did he play last week?
He did.
I thought Bakery Boy played last week.
Bakery Boy in last week?
I thought it was one of them. They're pretty interchangeable, so...
Oh, what? Just because they're brothers, they're interchangeable. But I believe it was Poof that was playing.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. But I mean, last Udyr sitting here hovering Udyr, probably not going to play Udyr.
Yeah, it's probably just a thing he does because his name is the last Udyr.
Yeah, we are going to see that Sivir, though. We did see a Little Tough Guy pick up a pentakill on that champion last week. He was pretty fed. But I mean, hey, pentakill's a pentakill nonetheless.
Yeah, pentakill is a pentakill. Even in a bot game.
Even in a bot game.
You got a pentakill in one of our bot games last night, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of, swung big time. I don't even know. No, I don't think that was me. I think that was Jonah.
Okay, Zaramali.
Oh, Skillos got one.
Oh, he did, yeah.
The Galio
yeah, the Galio pentakill.
Got the 4-man ult.
Yeah, boys just playing in some bot games.
Yeah, well, we have to get you leveled up for that ARAM tournament coming up this weekend.
I've been training for that ARAM tournament. We'll be talking about that later.
But sorry, back to the draft here. We see the Trundle Sivir pickup. Very good for that team comp. Could still put Trundle in the jungle, in the top, or the support role. Yeah.
The flex picks.
The flex picks all day. I mean, Sivir, I think, is kind of the only one we know for sure where it's going so far. But they actually retaliate with the Orianna as well as the Lucian pick.
Yep.
Orianna, definitely good with that Wombo combo coming in. It synergizes very well with the Malphite, as well as the Echo. Echo can use that ball delivery system, using his E to get in there quite quickly. So
yeah, as well as Orianna, a very strong champion. We know the last Uter can play Orianna. He basically carried Lunatic Peace into SKL in that tiebreaker on the back of his Orianna play. So something we've seen being banned against him actually in the past couple of weeks, but it's open and he's going to take it.
We're going to see TSM Never Lucky on the Azir this game, and the Nidalee picked up. So I'm going to say Nidalee jungle. We're going to see Mo Money on that Trundle support, which is really good actually, especially against such a tanky team with that Gnar, Braum, and Malphite. You can use your ulti to gain those tank stats. Don't really need to build as tanky in the support role. So the itemization, even if you're behind, you can get those stats from someone else.
Did you say Gnar?
Did I?
Yeah, I believe you said Gnar, but maybe just confusing with the fact that their jungler's name is Nartorius.
Nartorius.
Just want to make sure viewers aren't getting confused here.
No Gnar pick.
Yeah, the Braum last picked here. Lunatic Peace picking in order. Somewhat interesting. Not something that we're really a fan of here at SKL.
I don't even know if it's not a big fan of. It just kind of doesn't really give you any flex if you pick it. It's kind of just showing what your hand is, and you're kind of picking things earlier than you necessarily need to.
Yeah, it's definitely It's just a weird thing. We do offer the ability to do a sub pick draft, which means that you can pick out of positional order, and then we'll just go back and redo the draft in positional order. So just in case maybe someone owns more champions or something like that. But I guess just opting to pick an order. Maybe
the last pick Braum, that's the curveball. They didn't see it coming.
Yeah, no one. The Lucian Braum bot lane, never seen that one before.
No, it's pretty scary, you know. It's off meta, one would say. No, but so far, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the synergy coming out from Lunatic Peace's team comp. Lunatic Peace, oh my gosh. Anyways, I like the synergy with a lot of their ultis, but I like we say all the time, you run these wombo combos. It's about execution and whether they can actually do this. We saw against White or Wong, definitely won in that game, getting that kind of synergy. But TMI been a pretty solid team so far. He has yet to drop a game. So if they're going to pull out a win and impress people, this is the game to do it.
I think they've already done it. I think they've already impressed people. They took a game off of Fellowship of the Nerds on their opening week of the season. Right after playing that tiebreaker, they came in and won that first game against Fellowship of the Nerds. And at that point, I was like, all right. I was like, I see you, Lunatic Peace. Like, you guys are legit.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah. So I think they have proved themselves already. And, whatever, if they do drop this game 0-2 against TMI, so is everyone else who's played TMI so far, so...
I mean, it's kind of sad. It's almost like an expectancy at this point.
Yeah.
Just TMI is just so solid in their pick draft, and even when they get into games, there's just very solid execution of what they want to go for. And I really want to see a team give them a run for their money.
Yeah, and they've even, these past couple weeks, they haven't even had their star jungler help me in. They've been bringing in subs, and even with the subs, it hasn't phased them at all. But I suppose they do have previous synergy. Again, Poof the Sheep playing on the team with Mo Money last year. So there is previously defined synergy there. And they're very strong players as well. Poof and Bakery Boy, I think, of both subbed. We've seen what they can do from last year. But hey, we'll see. Lunatic Peace, they've surprised me. They've surprised me before. So
can they do it again?
I will see.
Tune into SKL, Kevin.
Hey.
Maybe you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch.
So okay. Which team comp are you liking here, though? For yourself,
looking at both of these comps, I think they're both actually really well constructed comps. Sometimes we see some comps with questionable picks, and there's one that I'm very obviously like, okay, like I don't see what this team is doing here. But I like both of them. But that being said, and it's hard to take in bias here of what I know about these two teams, I'm just gonna have to go with game one. I think going to TMI. I like their team comp. They have a lot of the power picks of the meta right now with the Nidalee, the Azir, the Sivir, all really strong right now. Trundle, just classic, just good CC. I like Trundle better as a top laner than as a support, but he's still good, still very useful. And then the Graves, of course, Similodon. We've all seen what he can do on carry top laners. So I think despite the fact that the top lane meta right now is more favored in tanks such as Malphite or like a Maokai or something, I still think we're going to see a big performance out of Similodon on that Graves.
And I think that's very interesting. We actually see the last Udyr take an exhaust in the mid lane there. And it's kind of weird going against an Azir. You're both really ranged champions, so getting into range to exhaust him, not going to be really useful for the 1v1, but going forward into the late game, going to be able to use that on the Nidalee if he decides to jump in, or on the Graves to kind of slow down some of that damage coming towards the rest of your team. So opting for that team fight.
Yeah. So we're getting into champion loading here. On the blue side for game 1, we have got Team Malicious Intent. We have Similodon playing Graves in the top lane, Poof the Sheep subbing in, playing Nidalee, TSM Never Lucky on Azir in the mid lane, Lil Tough Guy playing Sivir, and Mo Money on Trundle.
And on the red side, we do have Lunatic Peace.
Nice, dude.
Yes, slayed it. We have Adiash playing Malphite in the top lane. We've got Notorious playing that Sandstorm Echo in the jungle. The last Udyr in the mid lane playing that Gothic Orianna. Uza at 80 carry with Lucian. And finally, but not last, oh my gosh, AAA Blaze playing that Braum in the support role.
Yeah, so I talked about what team cup I like better and who I think is going to win this game.
I went over this already at the very start. I said I really like the synergy coming out from FBC.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was your final decision. Okay, all right. So we got a bit of a split here, a little 1-1 between the casters.
I'm just curious. The execution-wise is what it's all going to come down to. But I like the amount of initiation they have. They've got that Echo in the jungle and the Malphite, so they have a lot of damage still coming out from that Echo, but additional CC with the Malphite. So if you're able to kind of pull out that clutch wombo combo, it'd be pretty strong with them. But in then level 1 here, we might see a little Tilly down in the bottom river.
They are hanging out in that little spot bush in the river. Gonna see if they can go in here. Looks like they're just gonna pass through opposite sides of the river, actually. Both teams going for the invade, but not seeing each other. And now with that ward down, they will be being seen, I think. And there is Poof the Sheep, maybe gonna get caught out here, but his team is there to back him up here. Here we go, they're going at it. AAA Blaze getting chunked out quite heavily, but Mo Money going back down the other way. Poof the Sheep is exhausted, forced to flash. Will anyone go down here? Notorious has a sliver of health here, but can they finish him off? I don't know if they're gonna be able to. The last Udyr puts that ball in the middle of Team Malicious Intent, and whew, no kills picked up.
That level 1 going horrendously.
Uh-oh, Team Malicious Intent. Are they going to look to follow up? Nope, the last Udyr is still just messing with them with that ball, but nothing else. Nothing picked up there for Lunatic Peace.
Yeah, that going actually horrendously for Lunatic Peace. They almost blew every summoner on their side just to try and get away. So that's going to be a late start for Notorious to get to his jungle camps. Probably not going to get a leash from his bot lane as they need to catch up in experience as well. Going to stop Hoop's back. He's already got one camp done. He had help from his bot lane. He's going to be able to go back, buy something, get back in the jungle. But Echo has the shields from his W. Should be able to survive in there, but definitely favorable for TMI there.
Yeah, just kind of a failed invade. Summoners were used by a couple of members of TMI as well, but just not as many. And the invade was on their side of the jungle, so they still come out with the advantage.
Yeah, I think I guess they didn't know that all 5 were there, but, getting a little antsy trying to go on Poof the Sheep. They thought they had him kind of caught out there by himself,
like,
and
surprise!
Team collapses. Yeah. It's going to be pretty crucial, though. I'm going to be looking for Poof to try and make some plays, especially in that bot lane where only Braum has flash, every other summoner down. Still have flashes available for his own bot lane. Could get an easy kill, and that's where you kind of have to capitalize. After that level 1, there's a lot of summoner spells that are been taken off the table, so go for it.
Ooh, but Mo Money getting chunked out here by Uza here, just taking shots at him with the Lucian. But looks like they will back off now. Good trading here by the bot lane of Lunatic Peace, but already slightly behind in CS. In early game, it's not that huge of a deal, but they got to be careful here with that getting behind early. That could get out of hand quickly, especially against a team as skilled and as clean as TMI.
Yeah, snowballing is definitely not something you want to give to give that kind of advantage to a high-skill team like this. And they should be able to just push that, and that's going to be the problem is with this Sivir Trundle, Sivir's going to be able to shove the wave so much, and even if Mo Money takes those unfavorable trades, his passive's going to heal him. I don't believe he actually has to kill the minions. As long as he's near it, it will heal him. So having just sitting there, letting the little tough guy kill those minions, is going to heal him up. Pretty easy to just continually trade like that and have someone else sustain you through it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, in this top lane though, I don't think it's at first it should be pretty favorable for Similidon. If he can just get an early lead, that's going to be very helpful because once that Malphite starts building armor, it's going to be very hard for him to trade. The attack speed slow, not really going to take that big of an effect on Graves as the attack speed really only affects the reload speed. So he's just going to get really beefy. So he's got to abuse it at the very start here, going with the Doran's Blitz. We see AAA actually come up for a gank, and
yeah,
it's kind of miss and walk away.
Interesting, yeah, it was just kind of tried to go for the drive-by there and missed and said, well, that didn't work. Guess we'll go back to bot. And looks like it was actually, where was, Poof the Sheep was hanging out down in the bot lane. Looks like he did back. So I thought maybe we were going to see him maybe take advantage of AAA Blaze not being there. But I guess not.
We see Echo actually go with the old Tractor's Knife there. I can't even remember what the hell the name of that thing is. But opting for that vision, which is going to be pretty crucial for them. Having vision on the map, especially with that Nidalee. Nidalee puts so much pressure on that map, doing a lot of invades. We did see 4 last night. Put so much pressure on it, but with the warding coming up from Fellowship of the Nerds, really helped the team collapse. They picked up a few kills on that. So maybe picking up that jungle item, got to ward his own jungle, because Nidalee, like I said, there's so much pressure on that map, going to be constantly invading. You have vision of him. You shouldn't be able to do that and get your team to collapse.
TSM Never Lucky's got to watch out here. Can he get away behind tower? Very low here. They will not dive him. Did burn, what is his other summoner there? Heal, yes. I can't see because I could see because it was a grayed out. Did burn that. Barely escaping with just a sliver of life here. As we see some trading going down in the bot lane now as well here. But here comes Poof the Sheep. Can he clean up the kills? Uza and AAA Blaze are trying to get out, but first blood will be picked up by Poof. Can he get second blood? No. No, he cannot.
Is he going for all the bloods?
All of the bloods. Uh-oh. Parallel convergence. Just going to miss onto Similidon here. Can he get away? Will Lunatic Beast be able to respond with the kill of their own? Flash is burned here, and Similidon will escape with his life.
Yeah, there just so much action going on all over the map there. It actually looked very favorable for Uza and AAA Blaze going on that trade. He got the stun proc on both Mo Money and Little Tough Guy, forcing him to flash out if he would have got that double auto off after using his ability. Probably could have picked up the kill, but not having vision in that river is pretty easy for Poof to just come down and sweep in for that first blood. In that top lane, though, do force that flash out of that crave. It's going to be very advantageous for Atiash, especially if he wants to make some kind of teleport play or even flash. He's going to have to use quick draw to get out of range for that ulti now, so kind of guarantees an easy knockup for Atiash if they ever go for that gank again, now that he is level 6.
Yep, and we see the first dragon now being picked up for Lunatic, or not Lunatic Beast, sorry, for Team Malicious Intent as well here. So they got the kill lead, they pick up a dragon, and they're building themselves a small gold lead as well here in this early game. CS differences aren't that big in a lane here. They're leading in top and bot lane, but we actually see the last Udyr with at least 10 CS advantage over TSM Never Lucky in that mid lane. So Lunatic Beast, they're keeping up so far, I'd say. You know, they're down a little bit, but we've seen teams be behind more to TMI at this point in the game.
Yeah, and that's, like we said, you don't really want to give them the advantage to Snowball. And I really like the fact that the last Udyr doing very well in that mid lane. TSM Never Lucky opting for the Dark Seal, so he's looking to start getting stacks on those. With the amount of pressure that Orianna has onto him, he's not going to be able to give him those 3 stacks.
Could go in here, maybe AAA Blaze and Uza. They're looking to 2v2 here, and Little Tough Guy Mo Money looks like they're just gonna retreat under tower. They don't want any part of that right now. But Uza, hello.
Oh, I
bit
think
of a
he
pause.
disconnected there.
That might have been the reason, as we saw Uza just kind of, yep, it was. Uza DC'd, and that's why he was just sitting there.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. I was like, this is a little deep of a dive here. Going absolutely in there.
Yeah, that was very inconvenient timing.
Yeah, you don't almost feel guilty about those kills.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, how can you know on the side of TMI that he disconnected?
Unfortunately, that pause not coming in soon enough to save him there. But hopefully they can get that figured out here.
Maybe he actually did just overextend and he died, and he's like, oh crap, I'm gonna make it look like I DC'd.
Oh, remember the killing? I'm gonna die. Oh, DC. Sorry guys, leg. Just leg kicked me off there.
Yeah, that was me last night during our bot games.
Just lagging in bot games.
Die to creeps, leg.
It was like, man, you were CSing like a boss last night.
I was. My CSing game is it's
your,
improving.
Your Cottontail Teemo skin was. I think that improves your last hitting, or your Panda Teemo.
I was using both of them. Yeah.
Swinging on that, man.
Yeah.
It was good. But so far in this game, I am impressed. Lunatic Peace playing very well in this early game so far. Down in a few of their lanes, they did give up that first kill early on, and Uza having this death due to disconnect. Rather unfortunate, but shouldn't be that big of an advantage. Like, I don't think TMI is going to, like, drastically snowball off of just this one kill.
No, although they do have, this is their second kill of the game. They have their first dragon as well, and they have a gold lead, and it's kind of like, against TMI, it's like, you give them, all they need is, they don't need that much of an advantage to just all of a sudden, they're on our Nexus all of a sudden, right? Like, TMI can take advantage of just the smallest of leads. It's not like, to use an example, like Whiter Wong, who we saw unfortunately not qualify twice because of tiebreakers, because of they got huge leads, but then just couldn't do anything about it and push it. TMI is an example of a team with good execution, where they can get a small lead and then they know how to methodically push their advantages and turn those small leads into big leads, into winning the game.
I think not finishing is a pretty common problem, and sorry, that's a bad joke. Anyways, but no, I completely agree. But the good thing is, though, they actually don't have Dragon available, so it's not like they can just swing up and grab that for free.
Yeah.
But
perhaps a Rift Herald?
I was going to say, could open up some kind of advantage onto that map. Just sneak up there and grab that Rift Herald for themselves. Give them a bit of a pushing advantage. And I mean, even giving Poof that would be a huge advantage. Just give them so much mobility, be able to roam through those jungles. A little bit of a stat boost. But makes it hard to get those sneaky ganks. If you walk into the bush, and all of a sudden you just have super creeps.
Yeah, that's like, oh, wait a minute. Something isn't right here. Yeah, so I don't know. This is no resolve to this pause yet. Anything you want to talk about? Anything about SKL as a whole, maybe? This is week 6. We're coming into our next week 7 is our last week of the season. So how are the standings shaping up here?
It's pretty close, actually. Well, there's a couple games that need to be made up because Lunatic Peace coming in late. I think they have 3 games in 1 week. It'll be an extended week 8. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's week 7.5.
Yeah, week 7.5. Essentially just them playing those games that Nixia Esports had played.
Right.
Figured it was only fair to let them replay those games instead of be like, oh, here's some free wins.
Yeah, that would not have been fair. Rest in peace, Nixia Esports. But that's going to be, you got to think that's going to be a tough week for Lunatic Peace.
Yeah.
3, because usually they're used to just, okay, 1 game a week. We can focus on this one opponent. We can do our homework on these 5 players. Maybe watch a VOD, see what their gameplay is like. But you got a week where you're going to be playing games against different teams 3 nights in a row. So you got to wonder if fatigue is going to play a factor in that week for Lunatic Peace.
It could be, and I mean that's kind of the hard thing. You have to prep for 3 different teams within 3 different days.
Yeah.
But I think at this point TMI has they have locked in first place. I believe they're splitting the series with RDS a couple weeks ago. That I don't think that Viz Major can catch up to them. Sorry, because TMI plays Viz Major next week.
Right.
So that'll be that'll be a huge match.
Yeah.
For kind of first place. I think if Viz Major can actually 2-0 them, they would take first place.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
It would tie them up.
We'd have to look at the actual.
Oh, but then
standings.
they actually have to play
Lunatic Peace, right? Because they
dropped
a game to Anixia, but they need to.
Yeah, if they were actually able to 2-0 in that series, that would kind of be a huge thing because that would be be able to pull themselves back together, especially because they played Nixia Esports without their full roster.
True.
These last 2 weeks have been the first time they've had their full rosters here. But it looks like we might have Uza back in the game here. Has reconnected.
We'll see. We'll look to get back in the game here. But you're right. We can't really say anything super definite about the standings yet until those 3 games are made up in that extra week. So that is going to kind of skew things. But
see, the crazy thing is the top 2 spots are pretty much the only spots that are like solidified. Fellowship of the Nerds has split a lot of series.
They have, yeah.
And the middle of the pack, like RDS, ADP,
Argon 53.
they're all kind of a split. Well, have split series. So that could really go in anyone's favor. I think Argon 53 has a bit of an advantage. They've split more series than been 2-0.
Yeah.
So I believe they have that fourth place spot. I don't have the actual.
Yeah, we don't have the actual standings up. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think you can kind of say that the two locks for playoffs for top 4 for the live finals at here in Saskatoon are Viz Major and Team Malicious Intent.
I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that they have solidified coming to the finals. And that is kind of a thing I think we have changed this year. Is only the top 4 teams come. There's actually not a 6 teams playoffs this year.
Right. So, and then I think it's really going to be a dogfight for those last 2 spots. It could be really like Fellowship, Argon 53, Lunatic Peace, ADP Gaming, RDS. Unfortunately, sorry to Sasquatches, I just don't think they have it in them to make a late season push. But I legitimately think every other team in the league could qualify for those last 2 spots.
Yeah, and as we see, Toast and Simtoast just say they are tied with Fellowship for that 3rd place spot.
Okay, yeah.
And the other teams have to be quite close because it's just been a lot of really split series between the middle of the pack teams.
Yeah.
Like there hasn't been any one team that's very consistent. They're like, all right, I'm gonna pull this out and just be huge. And the only teams that have really shown that so far are TMI and Viz Major, which makes me so excited for next week's match. I think it's gonna be huge.
It worked out nicely that we kind of we get that matches kind of in the final week 7, we get the kind of marquee matchup, the Viz Major versus Team Malicious Intent, the rematch of our finals last year, even though last year TMI was Vicious and Delicious, and they have a completely new roster besides Mo Money. I guess Poof, though, if Help Me, their jungler still isn't back, then, it's a bit more Vicious and Delicious, but it's going to be a hyped up game. Do you know off the top of your head what day that game is?
I believe it's Wednesday next week.
Wednesday? Okay. I will have to tune in. I might be casting it, but if I'm not, I'm definitely going to have to tune in.
And that's the other thing, though. We also have to take into like Lunatic Peace will have 3 games to play.
Yeah.
Still, so the roster, the standings really won't be set until after that.
It will depend on that last week because they'll have games.
So that's a potential 6-point swing in their own favor.
Yeah, and so they'll have games against Viz Major, Sasquatches, and ADP. ADP?
I can't remember. I think it's ADP. Yeah, or is it RDS?
I'm really not too sure.
I believe it's RDS actually.
So those games, for any Lunatic Peace fans out there, those games will be played after the week after next. Next week is week 7, our final week, and then those makeup games will be played the week after. I believe it's the final week in April, kind of a week 8, week 7.5, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. The last stand week.
Yeah.
But that's actually the other thing. It's going to be pretty hype because our finals are really less than a month away. Well, actually a month from tomorrow.
Yeah, something like that. I actually can't believe that we're this far into the season already. Like when I showed up today, I was like, wait, it's week 6 already? Where have these past 5 weeks in qualifiers gone?
I know, it's been insane. That's the thing. I actually wasn't even here for a majority of the qualifier games. That's when I was gone to Denver.
Right, yeah.
Coming into it, I was like, holy, this is just kind of boom, all just happened all at once here. But very curious. Uza, did he disconnect again?
Yeah, he reconnected and then disconnected. So I'm not sure. This pause here, designer. This is really cutting into our Survivor time.
Might have to wait till the old 10 o'clock and watch the VOD.
Yeah, because if we miss the 9 o'clock airing, then we have to wait and download it after, which that really sets our night back. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta make work. Yeah. And I'm sure Uza's trying to do what he can do right now to get back in this game.
Absolutely.
But how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I was actually in Toronto this weekend.
Well, that's right. You saw Drake.
I saw Drake, yeah, at the Raptor game. I was, 10 rows away from him or something. I gave him the what up, but he didn't see me. I mean, whatever. Like I don't need acknowledgement from Drake. Like whatever.
You don't need that?
I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need his validation. It was pretty cool though. Toronto, big city. Saw the Raptors play. They won, which was good, and then I went to the big sports bar across the street, Real Sports, after, and watched the end of the Jays game because it was the same night as the Jays home opener, and they lost, unfortunately. But let me tell you, downtown Toronto was lit. With the Raptors game and the Blue Jays home opener. holy, the amount of people were just insane.
Oh, we are back in game here. It looks like they're finally got back here. I was gonna say.
Do you want to keep hearing about my? You don't want to keep hearing about my weekend in Toronto? You want to watch this game instead?
No. I mean, no. Please continue.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll save it in case we have another pause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that was the thing I was gonna bring up. They actually each team only is allotted 15 minutes of pause time per game.
And I think they were Lunatic Peace was down. They only had about 4 minutes left. About right.
Yeah, and Uza finally coming back. It looks like he's walking out of there. So that's gonna be a free pickup, guys. We are back into this game. It is a 2-0 lead so far for TMI, but not a big gold lead. It's only about 2,000 gold. We do see Atiash coming down from the top lane there. Just kind of hanging out with his team. Not looking to make any plays right now, though.
Yeah, that's geez, I hope that was a long disconnect. You gotta hope that Uza got it all figured out, because if that happens again, if it takes as long as that, what happens if they use up their 50 minutes of pause? You just have to you have to start.
You have to start the game and just play it out. So it'd be basically a 5v4. I mean, you could surrender,
right?
But it'd be better to just pull it out, try the 5v4, see how it goes. Maybe you can get some kills still going. You know, stranger things have happened in League. I've seen 4v5s happen before.
Yeah, it has. That has happened before. As we see some trading going on in the top lane now, Notorious is going to show up here to help go onto Similodon, but Poof the Sheep there as well. Notorious actually pretty low as he is showing up here, but Similodon takes a spear to the face, but it's turning around onto Adiash now. The two junglers are going at it as Notorious Chrono triggers backward, or Chrono breaks backwards, sorry, as Flash comes out of Adiash. Will they finish up the kill? Just one spear onto Notorious. He can't flash it, and Poof the Sheep picks up that kill, and looks like Adiash will escape, but one kill picked up in that top lane for TMI. Uza flashing forward here, looking to go in onto Lil Tough Guy, who is fairly low, but Mo Money doing what he can to protect his 80 carry. Gonna look to swing onto Uzi here. AAA Blaze looking to help out. Uza now actually very low, and Lil Tough Guy will finish up that kill with the never know what to call Sivers' weapon. Like it's like a.
You should get him with a boomerang blade.
A frisbee. Like, it's a circle, but a sharp circle.
You kill him with the Q, with the boomerang.
No, I know,
blade,
but like the actual Sivers' actual weapon,
pokey stick, stick.
It's a
stick circle.
It's a pointy frisbee. Is what it is.
The frisbee of death.
Yeah.
But that was actually really unfortunate. In the top lane, Atiash actually flashed into the spear. He flashed it in a straight line and actually ended up cutting himself off. And just got popped in the head.
Well, maybe he thought he would out.
Or chakram, that's what it's actually.
A chakram. Okay, I like that.
Chakram or chakram?
Chakram. I'm not sure. Thanks for our research department on that one.
Skillos giving us that little head nod.
Yeah. I think Notorious. I think he flashed hoping that he would outrange the spear. Unfortunately, he was wrong.
That's the thing. I think with linear skill shots, flashing forward so bad for you. Not saying that was a bad flash. I know exactly what he was going for, but ended up just getting sniped by it anyway.
Yeah, really too bad for him, as they were looking to make that 2v2 in the top lane go in their advantage there, but they ended up failing and going down one kill, and then shortly after we saw that kill in the bot lane onto Uza. TMI here 4-0, and they have built themselves quite a significant gold lead now as well, now up to about 3k. So that is starting to get a little. It's going to start getting out of hand quickly for Lunatic Peace here if they're not careful.
I think the great thing, though, is that their mid laner is the one who is doing quite well for himself, up almost 20 CS here. And last Udyr, he's going to be the one that's really going to be making the clutch plays. As Malphite, used more as an initiation tool, doesn't really look to be the damage source for the team. So as long as he can get that ball in, you can get a good ulti coming through. Hey, Shockwave is such a fight turner. If you could just land it on anyone, or like get a multiple amount of people in there, lock them up, get more damage put on from the Lucian, and get a stun. If you have the follow up with the Echo coming through, after you able to land that Shockwave, you can easily turn a fight even if you're behind.
Yeah, and you know what? We saw the last Udyr have that ability to have game-changing ultimates in their tiebreaker to get into the league against White or Wong. You know, they were behind that whole game, and the last Udyr just had some absolutely clutch shockwaves, and it really, really brought Lunatic Peace back. and into the league.
And that's just a great thing about this team comp is they have so many ways to enable Last Udyr to get the ball where it needs to be without actually having to do it himself and kind of catching people off guard. So hopefully they look for some kind of team fight as that dragon is up. Not sure if this is the time to do it. Your bot lane's very far ahead. That DC, the kills have kind of led into more. But Uza played very well that last fight. Not exactly going the way they wanted to. Kind of got out of range for those last couple autos on Little Tough Guy, and he ended up turning that kill around. So they have to be very careful that bot lane's going to snowball, giving them a lot of objective control in the river.
Yeah, and especially with Sivir, like, whatever, like early game Sivir, she does her thing. She gets down, she'll get to the late game and just do an obscene amount of damage, but if you let her get ahead in the early game as well, it's going to be just even scarier. Did you see that? I think it was Podnox posted a picture of it was like a game where a Sivir had done over, I forget what it was, like over like 100,000 damage to champions or something. And it was just outrageous, and it was like, yeah, like, balanced, right? Like,
oh, it's so gross that late game with the crits, but they actually committed a lot.
Unstoppable Force onto TSM Never Lucky, and he goes down very quickly with the last Udyr picking up the kill there. His tower did go down to the top lane, but is able to help pick up the kill onto the mid laner here, and this looks like it might be Dragon for Lunatic Peace as well. They have started it, but members of TMI are there. Can they finish it off here? No ability to steal, really, as Proof the Sheep is in the top lane, so that Dragon is picked up there for Lunatic Peace, but they will take down the tier 2 top lane turret as well, so a bit of a trade there. We get 2 turrets for a kill and Dragon.
Not sure it was entirely worth it. Earlier on when we were watching the fight, we saw a lot of commitment for that bot lane. They used the Malphite TP, they used a Braum ulti. They weren't able to catch the Sivir. It's so hard when you put Frozen Domain down as well as Pop on the hunt. That Trundle is gone. Sivir is quite quick herself. Can't really track them down. You need to have some kind of CC before that TP even gets showed. You use TP before anything else happens. Of course, they're just going to book it out of there. But he makes a play in the mid lane, but they give up 2 towers for that.
Yes, and TMI actually now just picked up Rift Herald as well. So, excuse me. So I think coming out on the tail end of that, I think you got to say advantage TMI. 2 towers in Rift Herald compared to a kill in Dragon. First Dragon too. I think it's the scales are slightly in the favor of TMI on that trade, I think.
Yeah, and those are the plays I was kind of looking for them to make. They have this team fight comp, but they're not really looking to make any plays with it. And then when they go to do it, maybe just a little miscommunication, not going in on it first before asking for that TP. So gonna have to try and find themselves a better spot, and they, instead of opting to fight, they just back off and take objectives. So very smart by TMI. And then maybe able to get a mid turret here as well. Azir just able to shred those turrets down.
So quick. Nartorius is there to defend there, but it's going down very quickly. TSM Never Like he says, I don't even see you, Nartorius. I'm going to keep going on this turret. Finish it off. They pick that up. Just kind of extending their advantages here. And looking to push even more here as it's 3 turrets to 0 now. None picked up yet for Lunatic Peace, and I don't think they even really have. We saw the bot lane starting to push on that tier 1 in the bot lane, but I think that's really the only one they've kind of got any significant damage on.
Yeah, Nartorius almost getting killed there, having to force his flash out and getting out with maybe 10 HP. And that was the thing I'm very surprised. Going with a very damage-heavy build, going with that Runic Echo instead of the Cinder Hulk. Trying to go with a bit of AP, but when he's this far behind, definitely those tank stats are going to come in handy. Might turn that Sheen into a an Iceborne Gauntlet. I always call it Frozen Fist, but
Frozen
that's
Fist.
not the actual terminology for it, I guess.
I mean, whatever. It's like a Iceborne Gauntlet, Frozen Fist. It's like they're synonyms for each other.
Yeah, essentially, I suppose. That is true, but hopefully it gets quite tanky, because really no one on their team has those has any items completed to get them that tanky.
Little Tough Guy looking to throw that Chakram onto Uza here. The pillar goes down, and Uza gonna actually look to turn this around. Gets the culling out. Parallel Convergence not going to land onto anybody, as Nartorius is looking to help turn this around. The Glacial Fissure knocks up Little Tough Guy on the tail end of it. Can they pick something up here? More money, helping to try and disengage here, but looks like these 3 members of Lunatic Peace are just gonna have to back off and not be able to pick up any kills. The last Udyr maybe was looking to roam down for the mid lane there as well, but not going to get there in time to have any effect on that team fight.
Just a lot committed to that once again, and somehow TMI goes full deep into it and gets out, only having to burn the heal of Little Tough Guys. He didn't have that flash available. Using the ulti, almost picking up that kill, doing already so much damage. Has that Essence Reaver completed. It's going to be pretty scary once that IE and the Phantom Dancer or the Static Shape come through, but we do see Similodon in the bot lane. They might go for a kill.
Uh-oh, yeah, gonna try, although it looks like Yeah, Uza and Triple A Blaze in pretty safe position. So really not going to be anything doing there. Maybe they look to take this group and roam onto someone else here as Adiash might be get caught out by this 4-man grouping of TMI who are just hanging out in the river. Actually, it looks like all 5 members are... Oh, no. Little Tough Guy has split back down to the bottom lane, so they have split off from each other, but it looks like they will maybe look to push in the mid lane. I'm not sure.
Just a lot of objectives for them to take, and they can take it so easily. They have a ton of wave push coming out from the Azir as well as the Saber, making sieging quite easy for them.
Triple A Blaze got to be careful here, as Poop the Sheep is doing a lot of damage here. One more spear might do it, and he flashes for it and picks up the kill. But did he flash too far forward here as the team is looking to turn around onto him? The Shockwave coming out from the last Uter. Similodon picks up the kill though onto Adiash, quickly followed by Nartorius going down here to TSM Never Lucky. And the last Uter is just going to look to escape with his life. The spear going to land from downtown by Poof the Sheep, and he picks up that one. Whew. Great execution there by Team Malicious Intent. Lunatic Beast just didn't even know what hit him.
Yeah, Poof the Sheep being a very strong Nidalee here, and had a great performance on it, just landing spear after consecutive spear. And that was the thing we were talking about. It's going to be very... Execution of the team comp coming out from Lunatic Beast is key, and they only get the Malphite and Orianna ult on Sigmilodon, completely missing everyone else, not focusing the prime targets that they need to go for. This Nidalee, this Sivir, trying to get the backline. Graves being a little bit tankier and has unreal sustain, especially with Death's Dance. And I'm not sure if he has that Warlord's Bloodlust, but that also helps.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, and he has that Warlord's Bloodlust, so just able to sustain through some of it, and just a true grit pass of giving him so many defensive stats. You gotta prioritize the squishies over that front line and try and get multiple people when you're wasting these clutch ultis on just one person.
True Grit, good movie.
I haven't seen it actually.
You know, it's Jeff Bridges, and he's like, he's a cowboy. It was a remake of one, but it was a good one.
Not a bad one.
Yeah.
I give it a gander.
I mean, there's probably other movies I would recommend you watch first that you probably haven't seen, but you know, if you're ever looking for something to watch.
Ron's on Netflix?
I think it. I'm not
Is
sure.
it Netflix
actually.
and chill material?
Ooh, I don't know. You know what? I have this. You know my ultimate. I have like a go-to Netflix and chill movie. You know what it is?
What?
About Time. You ever heard of it or watched it?
No.
It's a good one. If you ever need it.
Is it really sad though?
It's a good balance of it's a good balance of emotion. It definitely has its sad moments, but it has a happy ending as well. And it's just overall it's just a really sick movie. Like, it's really good. You can Ponox agrees with me on this. It's kind of our go-to Netflix and chill movie.
I'll have to watch it by myself someday.
I mean, if you have someone to watch it with, you could. As Nartorius chrono breaks backwards here, flashes over the wall here, and it looks like he will actually escape. But Little Tough Guy is flashing forward here, going full Wild Turtle onto Uza, picking up that kill. As they're looking to go on onto Similodon here, but now they're on the run as well. Triple A Blaze throws up the Glacial Fissure. Looks like the Shockwave did sombrero there, but they pick up the kill under Triple A anyways. Nartorius might be soon to follow. Doesn't have ult available this time from Poof the Sheep. Can he land the spear? Nope, Nartorius dodges that one. Doesn't have flash available. Didn't need it that time, but Poof the Sheep pounces all over him and picks that kill up as well. And this should be a easy Baron for TMI.
Yeah, quite the chase. Echo looking like he made a slick escape, but they end up chasing him down. And yeah, the Orianna does land on 2 members, but really not doing that much.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't have the Magic Pen boost. Opts for the boost of swiftness to try and reduce the slows coming out from Azir with Rylai's, I guess. Yeah. And then just general movement speed, but doesn't have any Magic Pen on it. It only has that Athene's and Holy Grail. Looks like going straight into a Rabadon, so not having that necessary damage to really turn those team fights. And this is where we were saying you can't let Malicious Intent snowball. And in the 21 minutes, they have a top inhibitor. They've got all the tier, or almost up to the inhibitor in the middle lane. Have themselves an early 20-minute Baron. Should be looking to close this game quite quickly.
Yeah, I can't see this game lasting much longer than 30 minutes, to be honest, as they will look to pick up their second dragon here as well as the tier 2 bot lane tower should be going out to Similodon with the help of those Baron empowered minions. Just great execution by TMI here, showing their ability to finish as they pick up their second dragon, which is only going to make their siege faster. And we got confirmed in chat that About Time, 10 out of 10, would recommend.
All right.
Check it out.
Take it into consideration.
Bring the Kleenex.
Bring the Kleenex?
Yeah.
Man, I watched, How to Train Your Dragon tears me apart. I don't know.
Number 1 or number 2?
Both.
Okay, all right.
Both. Number 2 was spoiled for me, so that was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, they're good movies. Spoiled by Skillos?
It was either Skillos or Zaramali. One of them just completely ruined the movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. That was one where I remember watching the first one. I was hanging out with a bunch of friends, and they were like, "Oh, let's watch this movie." And I was like, "This looks dumb. Like, I don't want to watch this." But we watched it anyways. And then when it was done, I was like, "Okay, I was wrong. That was a sick movie."
I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I was so excited about it. I went and bought it. It seemed like the day it came out, and I made a bunch of people watch it. I think Skillos was one of the people that came in and watched it with me.
Where was my invite?
This is back before Big Booty Bodie and Dezaninator were very good friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess that movie came out when we were in high school, so. I would have watched that movie. I watched that movie with the young Richard P.O.D. Diggins.
Oh, the young Rich Dig Dog.
Yeah, he would have been there when I first watched
But this
that
is where the
movie.
fight needs to turn here. We need the mouth fight all
going in onto only one member, though, and he immediately gets Emperor's Divided back and then killed by Similodon with Uza and Arturius quickly following. They get that bot lane inhibitor, and the Shockwave actually going to land onto about 3 members, but at this point, I think it's too little too late for the last Uda. There's only so much he can do as one man, as both Nexus turrets are down. TMI is onto the Nexus here, and that will be game 1 going over to them, Dezaninator.
Yeah, that was just a pretty clean game here coming up from TMI. A real unfortunate disconnect for Lunatic piece.
Yeah.
But just, once again, letting them snowball and go through. And I say this all the time. I like to pick those wombo combo team comps because I like to see someone pull it off. But execution is key, and they just weren't able to execute properly.
Yeah, it just really didn't happen for them. We couldn't see, they had that game, that tiebreaker game against Wider Wong where, they were behind and they showed the ability to come back. But Team Malicious Intent, we said multiple times this game, they know how to execute, they know how to finish, they know how to take their small leads and push them kind of methodically into bigger leads and push that into winning the game, which is, I think, a big difference between them and a lot of teams in this league, which is why they're currently undefeated.
Yeah, and I mean, even with a sub, Poof the Sheep doing a phenomenal job in the jungle there. Having the highest kill participation on his team, not dying, just so much pressure on that map. Echo only has 1 completed item. That's his jungle item, one of the cheaper ones, of course, and not even being able to finish his boots by the time he had the Runic Echo, Rylai's, Iceborne Gauntlet, and boots. He's just doing so much, and I just feel like giving him those kind of champions is really hard for them, and if they want to have a better early game, they got to try and get that jungle focus going.
Yeah, TMI really not losing a step at all without having their regular jungler and these subs coming in, Poof the Sheep filling in really perfectly for Help Me and continuing to allow TMI to go undefeated.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break here between games 1 and 2, but stick around. We will be back with game 2 of TMI versus Lunatic Peace. Don't go anywhere.